And there are different speeds, you know, the mathematical formula, music speed equal distance times time or whatever it is. So how you hold your hand is important because if you hold your hand this high, by the time it gets down to the drum, that's what? A quarter of a second, right? Or maybe a whole second, so you lose half a beat, right? It's kind of like commonsensical, but it's not really, right? So even though we're not, you know, terribly interested in how you hold your hand or how you hold your body and all that, we're still very much concerned with what we call the reproduction of sound. GAHFU people are very particular about the sound that comes out of the drum. So if we're playing a bugu, we want to hear we don't want to hear track. Ooh, God. Get him off of that!
Throw him out.
Okay, so we have many styles in GAHFU musical culture, at least about 21 of them. And so I'm kind of intrigued why most of the musicians only play four. Punta, Paranda, Gunjay, Jampunu. We have about 21 of them. And I'm especially disappointed and a little intrigued that we go out of our way to make it sound like South African. Lots of guitar, which is nice. I mean, but Jimi Hendrix has done that. You know what I mean? I'm sure Hendrix would have gone crazy had he met Garifuna drummers, because the drums are so they're so deep, they're so their scope and their breath and the things that they can do, the things you can do with just a surface and two hands is amazing. Much more than you can do with the piano or any North African or European instrument. Seriously. I mean, it goes beyond the 12 scale or whatever that we learn in traditional music schools. But every journey starts with a single step. So your step will be to start with the easiest. This style is called the tira. And it's one of the styles that I'm very much interested in. If you look at the booklet, you'll see that my interest is what we call is what I call dances with characters, right? We have 4 traditional Garifuna dances in which we dress in particular, right? We dress for the tira, we dress for the wanarwa. What else? Any other clues? Anybody?
For the gunche.
The jankuno, the tira.
Gunche.
The warine.
Ah, wow.
One more.
Give her certificate.
The charkanara, the tira, the warine, and...
Wow, what else?
I can't remember.
Punta, Gunje, Wanarawa. I know. I'm going through the list.
Yeah, we'll get to it though. Anyway, so those 4 characters, I've been intrigued by those 4 characters because I wonder why people dress in particular and hide their wonderful faces and beautiful bodies and disguise themselves, you know. Well, people do that in many cultures, right? The mask, in particular, is evident in many musical styles. African, European, Garifuna, right? Any guesses on what you think the purpose of the mask is? Why do people wear masks?
To be a different persona.
To be a different persona.
Yeah, their own stuff, maybe.
Yeah. Have you ever been in Belize or Honduras or La Buga on Christmas morning to see your uncle who's normally 5'2" suddenly step out of the house and he's 7'1" with his crown and a sword in his hand? I mean, the transformation is radical. Right? Well, that is the idea. The idea is that your ordinary uncle throughout the year is suddenly a magnificent prince, in disguise on Christmas morning. Right? For once per year, you get to be whichever character you want to be. Right? The other dance in which we're in disguise is that other one, the famous one that we call the Charikanara, in which men dress as women.
Yeah. 2-foot cow.
In December.
It's the Tufaka in
The
December.
question is, why do men dress as women? We have several theories. One is that the men lived on different islands. I mean, on different parts of the island, right? And they lived separately from the women, and therefore, when they had their dances, some of the men had to pretend to be women, because the dances are male and female. Yes, to be their partners. I've heard that some people have surmised that it's done once a year, and it's an outlet for gay men to express themselves. Every year, once a year, you get to be a girl if you want to, which is very interesting.
Like the Hollywood parade, or the
That's
Halloween
right.
parade, I'm trying to say.
The Halloween parade, yeah. So once a year, in Garifuna duo, you get to dress like a girl if you want to.
Do they?
Yeah, all the men are dressed as women in this particular dance called the Cherry Canary. We also have this female character, we have this woman character too in the Jankunu, and we call her the Hiero.
Ah, yeah.
In which a man is dressed as a woman, and he chooses which partner he wants to dance with. So all the men would jump in, and then there would be this one guy, and out of the blues would come this dancer dressed as a woman, and he would just do this particular dance with this fella. We have a very interesting and intriguing culture, with many sections left unanswered, unexplored, or not analyzed and synthesized. Right? I have asked Antamata to work with me in a particular area, a tiny little area of Garifuna couture. That's the word, costumes, that I've been intrigued with. And that area is the kaili that you have on your head, the muswete. Believe it or not, that simple little swat of cloth is used in many instances in Garifuna culture. And we've overlooked it. We paid no attention to it. We're seemingly unaware of its importance. It's rolled into spirals and placed on the head and carry heavy loads. It's used by women to cover their hair or whatever their heads. It's even used by the Wanarwa. Believe it or not, the chief, the Bankwata, the
Abuti.
he has two. He uses two muswete. One is tied this way and the other one is tied behind his head for reasons we don't know. It reminds me of the 2 crowns of Egypt. Maybe that's stretching it a bit, but who knows, right? And then it's used by men, traditional Garifuna men, use it sometimes when they're farming, or many of our men use it today. I mean, it's become very popular in the United States, in which our musicians use it. They love it, right? And women use it around their waist. They use it to carry children. I mean, many purposes. So Antamata and I will be working on an article to explore the importance, if it's important at all, right? The importance of the muswete in Garifuna culture.
I think Dr. Bernard did some research on that. There was one thing that I read, that the way you tie your head tie would identify if you were married and different things like that.
See that? Interesting.
Amazing.
Be careful, you might be giving off cues.
Problem is, we're in the States. A lot of people have forgotten those things.
Yes.
Or the culture hasn't been passed on yet.
Yeah, it's ornamental, but it has many practical uses, applications. All right, so this first Dances with Character has music to it, of course, and it's called the tira, and it's a simple one note. This is the simplest you could ever play music, and this is where music all begins, right? The beauty of Garifuna music, though, is that you can be fooled by the simplicity, right? The simplicity is complexity disguised, right? So, watch. This style, the tira, this style is the tira, right? The tira is a simple one-note beat, right? Traditionally, the drums are not claps with the legs; they're placed on the chair. Yeah, totally a little complex. Yeah, so let's stand if we will, right? And we're gonna what do you call it? We're gonna improvise. because I have more secrets to tell you about the so you lay it on the table or chair like this, in this position, right? And here's another surprise. And it's all DJ Labuga's fault because he called me too late, or else I would have, gotten all the tools and implements that go with this wonderful style, right? And no, it's not held in case. It's held, to the right or left of you, whichever hand you are. Yeah. And normally you'd be standing behind it. So if you could go behind it, yeah. And here's the other intriguing aspect. It is played with a mallet, not with a hand. But DJ Labuga, he just called me last week and he said, "We have an emergency, I need you to go do it." Or else you all would have had mallets. No, they're expensive too. They cost like about $30 a pair, right? Wow. They're very expensive at
I'll bring some from Guatemala. They're only like 10 quetzals, so don't worry about it.
Very nice. Yeah. Bring us a couple dozen. You start your own business. DJ Labuga, Garifuna mallets. Family.com.
I'll bring them, trust me.
The other intriguing aspect of the tira is that it's played by another drummer. Most Garifuna styles are played by 3 drummers. But here we have just two drummers doing all the work. The second drummer is playing with the drum held upright, and he's playing with 2 drumsticks, headless drumsticks. Right? I'll do a plug. It's all in my play, The Life and Times of Satya. This is the opening scene, in which the Garifuna people are on the beach. Some people are working on the everyday aspects of life, and they're being entertained by 2 drummers on the side. Right? This is where music begins. It begins with 1 note. Right? All the holy books of the world tell you that in the beginning was the word, right? That's yeah, they're true. That's true. In the beginning was the sound. So here's the first sound. It's 1 beat. Are you with me? 1, 2, the count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. This is the one follow sound. Remember the reproduction of sound, right? You're emulating a bass drum, so you want to hear it. Like that. Even if you're playing a primero, we want you to produce a bass sound magically, somehow. Timing. Keep it going, Sonny. And the third musician in the tira is a flautist. Some people call it a flutist, right? And he's playing this intriguing little tune. I've researched it, and I think that the tira is a reenactment of war between the Moors and the Christians. It's done. I think the Garifuna people ran into it. They discovered it in Labuga and in Honduras. Here in my research, I've come across the tradition as it's been done even up to today in Mexico. Right? So it leaves us wondering, Mexico? What do you mean? Garifuna people were in Mexico? I mean, well, yeah, it's not that far. If you could come all the way from St. Vincent to Honduras, Mexico.
Well, one of the greatest novela actors was a Garifuna man from Honduras who worked in Mexico in the 50s and 60s.
That's right, yeah.
What's his last name?
Doña Panchita Lopez. And she's the mother of the great Garifuna musician Abraham Labrel.
Laboriel. Laboriel is the actor, yeah.
And his son, Abramcito Labrel, who was or still is the drummer for Paul McCartney. So Garifuna musicians have gone to the highest heights of the musical world, whether we know it or not. The issue is that they're only just now beginning to acknowledge us, or themselves, or tell the world that they're Garifuna, and we're proud of them. Anyway, that was just an aside. Thanks, DJ. So that's what the bass player is saying. Again, the primero player is playing with the 2 sticks, right? And he's just playing a seemingly discordant, disconnected musical style. It sounds like it has nothing to do with what the bass players are doing, right? And the flautist is, I can't whistle at this time, I have this, thing in my teeth that I'm working on. But the melody is a simple melody. It goes something like, Whatever. I was 10 years old in 1966 when I saw it being reenacted, and it was never done in Belize again for some odd reason. It was a real reenactment with one side dressed in white and one side dressed in red on horses.
The Moors.
And they had a real reenactment of a battle on horses. And all the kids just went wild. Some people, it was wonderful. And we had a pavilion in Sangriga at the time. And the three musicians were there. It was an old man that they brought especially from Honduras because we didn't have the flutist or the flautist in Belize. It was wonderful. It was it stuck in my head. I can't get it out of my head, even 40-something years later. Yeah. So, let's try one more time and then we'll move on, right? The T-Rut. You're playing the bass. Boom.
He stops, you stop.
That was deliberate. The other aspect of music is, and people, somehow human beings don't seem to realize that a part of music is, yeah? And silence. People think that music is the no. In music we have the pause and the stop, right? But we somehow don't connect those two.
True.
Imagine James Brown screaming throughout the entire song.
Ow!
Right? So there's the stop, the pause, which I guess is your opportunity to take a deep breath and reconnect, whatever, right? One more time again. Bass. This is the pause. Got it? One more time again. If you can put those two words together.
It's the amount, I know you said it doesn't matter how you do everything, but where are you supposed to put your fingers?
Can you what?
Where are you supposed to put your fingers? Your other hand.
Oh, you're just supposed to hold it like you just
hold it with the
hold a rope.
part of the rope?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you're playing with a mallet, so you have to steady it,
Oh,
Yeah.
so
You have to make it steady, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you're playing with a mallet, yeah. And this guy's playing with two drumsticks, right? This is the simplest music ever gets. This is the heart of it. You have to understand the relationship of the music to the rest of the culture, right? So here on page 9, you'll see that you'll see what a songwriter can do with words, how to stimulate and affect your emotions, right? I've added emotional, harmonics by using words or these 5 elements are the elements of dance: stillness, chorus, staccato, flowing, and lyrical, right? You see them right here in the red boxes? This is what the human body would be doing in a dance. And I've just taken those five elements and added them to lyricism, to words, right? To deliberately move my audience when I want to, as a singer, right? To deliberately take you to a certain state, right? So I could start out by singing in a still, quiet, almost feminine voice in what they call the sotto voce, which was Michael Jackson's favorite voice. That small, still, little girly voice that you know? Right?
Wow.
You know? That's called the sotto voce, the stillness, right? And then, later on, you could do staccato. Staccato is to stutter. Like Bob Marley loves staccato. And, you know? He would take a simple, seemingly nonsensical word. Most people say, why do you have to say and over and over and over and over? But he made a style out of it, right? They say the sun, I mean, come on, just say sun, Bob, you know? Never shine fall. But in some people's world, it never shine at all. Tall. You can say tall 4 or 5 times. That's called staccato. Right? And a simple word like and could move you. You're wondering, why am I crying? He's just saying and.
That's true.
You know? We do a lot of this in Garifuna music. Garifuna music can be overwhelmingly emotional. If you understand those words, there was a chagu at the Matas, you know? And the Honorable Roy Kayatara was singing a seemingly simple song about, you know, something like, you know, a bird pecked the old man on his foot and the daughter cried. What does that have to do with a religious ceremony? You know what I mean? But such is the power of Garifuna lyricism, right? According to Antamata, during the Dugu, it's not even the music that puts you in a trance. It's the words. And anybody here that is familiar with Garifuna music, Dugu music knows that those words are the simplest, most everyday words you could ever hear. It's about a fall. And people are just going into trance. Over a fall.
They're like,
A chicken, yeah.
See? But it's more than just the words.
Yes.
It's the flow, the emotional flow of the words. It's what we call the syntax, the juxtaposition of words. It's where you place those words and when those words come out of you. As a matter of fact, those words are not as ordinary as they seem. Those words are particular words that come in a dream, like 2 or 3 weeks before the Dugu or during the Dugu, to somebody who's often not even a singer. Right? Not even a singer. Huh? So the power and the emotion of words. Combine powerful words with these drums, and you can take yourself to another level. I used to warn my cousin here, don't go in that house and start playing at 5 o'clock in the morning like yourself. And he kept doing it because he was hearing all that. He just stopped right now. And then there's chaos, right? On page 10. I'll be honest with you, as Garifuna people, we love chaos. You ever seen us dancing? We can go off. Right? But even in chaos, there's harmony, right? Even in the worst of times, we still dance, right? We dance for everything, every occasion, you know? And then, of course, there's the flow, right? The flow of things, that smooth, undulating, you know, mix of female and male voices, you know, preferably high, you know, the high pitch that we love, right? That virgin voice, you know. And then there's lyrical. We're very lyrical people, right? We talk and sing a lot, right? There are people, we love to talk and sing. All right. The next sound is the warini, right, on page 14. The warini or the hukumalad, right? Let's read. Want to try and read aloud? Yes? The warini, so-called in Belize, hukumalad in Honduras, like many other Garifuna dances or dance dramas, appears to be of West African origin with Garifuna European elements. According to my informants, Miguel Alvarez and Pablo Guerrero, in parts of Honduras, the dance actually has as its prelude the Christmas Junkudu Wanarawa dance. The warini appears at the Wanarwa dance dressed in maso silk, or strips of dried plantain or banana leaf draped or attached onto their shirts and rolled up shorts. The Gayusa or female singers also adorn their hats and parts of their bodies with banana or plantain leaves. One more reader for the next paragraph, and then we'll go into the plain of the warning. Who wants to volunteer? A reader, a reader.
Sally.
All right.
All right.
The male dancers wore a mesh or paper mask designed to resemble a European male, similar to the Wanarwa.
That's right.
Except that the Wanarwa wear mesh masks only. The Warini wrap their heads in multicolored scarves or wasuiti?
Muswete, the same scarf.
Muswiti?
Yeah, the muswet.
Muswe.
Remember I started the discussion with the muswet. There we go, see how it ties in? All right, moving right along.
Only males are allowed to participate as dancers in the Warini, which, like the Junkanu, proceed from house to house, performing either an ancient Mesoamerican spiritual religious dance or a dance of resistance, parodying European costumes and mores. According to my Garifuna informants, the Warini is a dance that pits good against evil. Thus, the mission of the characters is to purify the houses they visit of evil for the new year.
That's right. So the accompanying music with the Warini is what we call the prelude, right? So now we're gonna get ready to play again. We're back in the musicians mode. We're out of songwriter mode now, right? We're back in the musicians, and then we're gonna dance, right? Remember, this is the singing, songwriting, dance class, right? All right. So my cousin here will introduce you to the prelude, right? In Belize, we call the prelude the dombo. It's what we call onomatopoeia. It's a repetition of, it's not a repetition, the duplication of a sound with the mouth, right? Michael Jackson's song, she danced in the treetop all night long, thinking and singing and so on. And then he does the onomatopoeia with the word tweet, 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 Rocky Robin, think, right? That tweet, tweet, tweet is called onomatopoeia, right? So here we're going to do an onomatopoeia. We call it the dombo because that's the sound that the drum is producing, right? And it starts, but it's actually the prelude. It's the introduction to the Wanarwa. And it's usually played at 5:30 in the morning at Christmas time, right before the gathering of the Junkanu troops. They come in troops because they're family. They remember that little short uncle that I told you something transformed into the 7-foot giant? Well, he'll come with his father, his grandfather, his little son, even a 2-year-old dressed in as a Wanarwa. His 7, 8, 9, 10 of them would just come in the troops, and all the troops would just gather. I mean, you could smell the testosterone. And, I mean, this was just macho. I mean, guys with sword. I mean, you couldn't see their faces, but you could just tell. I mean, you know, you could just see that 200 years ago, this is how we behaved. We were really angry and just ready to attack that next village, right? And so the Dumbo would be riding up the troops. You could hear the drums coming. Start with just the one beat, then it escalated to 2, then 3, then 4, then 8. That's right. So it would start with just the one. According to Mingo and Pablo Guerrero, they don't do the Dumbo in Honduras. So this is a Belizean invention, I think. Because all the other drummers said they've never heard it before. The drummers from the other countries. So this is how we ride up our troops. This is how we sometimes we call it the call-in, right? Once the call-in is played in your traditional Garifuna Wanarwa, you must show up. There's no way you can ignore the call-in, or else. Again, slower. 1, 2. Dombo, dombo. Dombo, dombo. All right. And then with the sound of the Iwawi, the shells on their knees, you can hear the combination, you know. as they're walking towards the Abuti's house. That's where the dance starts. But the intriguing thing is that in my day in Danbriga, the dance did not start at the Abuti's house. It started at the drummer's house. And then it moved to the Abuti's house. The Abuti is the chief, right? And then at the Abuti's house, he would be there standing at the, well, there'd be this long interlude in which everybody's anticipating his arrival. And he would not show. I mean,
That's beautiful.
and then finally there he was, just this tall, stately guy dressed in white. All white, standing on the topmost, on the step with a sword, and the crowd would just go wild, and the drummers would just, think it was a wonderful thing.
Wow.
Beautiful. You have to see it. You have to witness it one day. Anyway, so the drummer, and once they get to the master drummer's house, they're in circle, but they're not really dancing, right? They're just going through the emotions, the chaos, the lyricism, and basically they're just jumping up and down, just like a soccer players would. I mean, just the most threatening.
Warm up.
Yes. Right. So here we're gonna play the calling, and any relative that you want to see walk through that door, you just call his or her name and watch. All right, so let's do our best. We're drummers again. Go up. I'll do the calling, right? I'll do the onomatopoeia and then you play, right? Come up. Come up. You got it, see?
Wow.
One more time. Dumbo. 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 Beautiful. Dumbo. Dumbo. Dumbo.
All right, we're ready to join. There's no female drummers, so we're going to be the first ones.
You really made it interesting. As we watched the movie from Dr. Green, Play Chankunu Play, you could see that when they do the dumbo and they're walking early morning to meet at the quartermaster, what they call it, and it's there. It's embedded in that video. Beautiful movie.
Right? There's a history behind number 2. And then on page 18, we get to the 1 hour one, right? Now, all the troops have moved from the master drummer's house to the Abuti's house, which is like a block or 2 away, right? And we're all there. It's Christmas morning. Belize is nice and cool. Some mornings it's drizzling, but we don't care. The 6-year-olds, we run out of our house. There's no stopping us, man. We're all there, and all the troops together. They come. You can see that these guys are just war infections. Anyway, they're getting now, and this is one of our most intriguing dances with characters, in which we dress in particular, right? In Honduras, they dress as women, right? With flowing gowns and whatever, but in Belize, they dress as British military men with, their slacks fold up to their knees, and they wear, what do you call those things? Socks?
Socks, yeah.
Like Scottish kind of.
Right, right. With a cloth pad of mollusk shells. They wear the shells too in Honduras. And they do wear the mask in Honduras, Belize, and Guatemala, and the crown that we call it wababa, that is festooned with parrot feathers, and a mirror in the front, and a mirror in the back. Why? I'm still trying to figure out. That's part of my research, right? Yeah, part of my research. Anyway, let's read a little, moving right along. The 1 hour or Jumpinu. You want to read for us? The 1 hour or Jumpinu is a variation, rhythmic cousin of the Warani.
Tornado or Jumpinu is a variation, rhythmic cousin of the Warani.
Mm-hmm.
A another Junkanoo musician, ethnomusicologist Simon Pillick, PhD, says Junkanoo Wanargo or Hapimalad is performed throughout the Caribbean, including Jamaica, Cuba, Puerto Rico, and some of the lesser Antilles. He goes on to say that Virginia Kearns, in her book, Women and Their Ancestors, Black Carib Kinship and Ritual States, the origins of the dance are unknown, but historical evidence suggests an African ancestry. In the past, slaves in Jamaica, St. Vincent, and other areas of the West Indies performed the Junkanoo at Christmas.
That's right. So here, we're going to move on to the Junkanoo, right? Remember we just played the prelude, right? The prelude is the calling. Now all the troops, all the dancers are gathered, right? And all the dancers are gathered, and now we get to what we call, in this aspect of the songwriting, chaos, right? But organized chaos. They're not as crazy and wild and as you might think, right? Even the music is wild, it's chaotic, but there's beauty, there's form, there's structure, there's deliberateness in it, right? Now, I'll be honest with you. It takes years and years and years and years and years to learn how to play the one argo, right? But to make it easy, we're going to start you off with the bass style, which is much easier, right? Once again, edge of the chair, position. The drums are an angle, certain angles, and let's do the best we can. We're going to play the bass, and it goes something like this. Remember, it's a reproduction of sound, right? I'm not going to baby you and go around and hold your hand and say, oh, like this, like that. Just try to reproduce the sound. We started off by playing a single note, remember? Dun, dun, right? Single beat. Now we're going to play, if this were European music, we'd call this combination of notes chords, right? Two notes or more is called a chord, right? This chord is a reflection of the complexity of the beats that you're playing, right? One beat is not very complex, but two or more can, now you can call yourself a musician, right? So here we go. One hand to the front, one hand to the right. Usually the hands don't pass the middle of the drum, right?
What do I do with this?
That's why we have this chord, because the hands don't pass.
So they have to stay back here?
That's right.
Both of them?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. That's why I warned you. I said the seeming simplicity of Garifuna music is but complexity disguised.
Yep.
Right? All right. So here we go. The bass tab. Listen once, and then you'll jump right in. Listen once. Listen once. Remember, we want that bass sound. We want to because you're all playing bass drums, right? And here's a good way to start off. I usually tell my students to use onomatopoeia. Repeat the sound with your mouth. So literally you just say, what's wrong with that? Right? Let's go. I want to hear mouths and hands. Stuff. You look at the other drummer and you go, girl. I'm catch up with you. Right? That's how it's done. Even in traditional, how do you think Stevie Wonder knows where the rest of his musicians are? He's listening. Right? He's listening. You have to listen to each other. In this chaos, remember this chaos? In this chaos is a lot of love and respect and appreciation for each other's talents. That's the idea. Right? All right, one more time again. I like that line one more time again. All right. In this next move, my master drummer will show you no mercy. He's going to come in and teach you what chaos really is. And he doesn't care if you sound silly, because he's going to go off, right? But I'm going to do my best to make you sound really nice. Here we go.
You want the segunda?
Yeah, I need a chair.
Then, oh no.
No, okay.
Sonny, get a chair, Bob.
Okay. Remember speed, right?
He got it. He got it.
Remember the speed, right? We started out by playing the tira, nice and quiet, one little simple beat. Oh, I could do that. Let Doc do that, right? And then we picked it up a little, right? And then next, you know, we're gonna go all out, right? You play the sound with your mouth, onomatopoeia. You repeat the sound with your hands, right? It's a hand, brain coordination, right? We teach that in schools everywhere, right? It works. So my master drummer is show no mercy. We're going to play the one article like it's Christmas morning. Are we ready? Yes?
Yes.
We just don't flaunt militarism and a warrior spirit anymore, but it's still within us. We temper it. We know how to disguise it. As Garifuna men and women, we have long tempers. People who know us and who have studied us will tell you that we're very patient people. We can be very patient. Very, very patient, but don't be fooled. You don't want to bring out that killer out of us at home.
Ouch.
Right, Trevor?
Yes. I could attest to that.
Yeah. Ask DJ to tell you Cheryl.
All the time. All the time. I leave it alone. I learned to be patient too.
All right. Garifuna song text. Let's go to page 26. You know, we're jumping all over the place with this, but soon we're going to dance, right? Yeah, we're going to dance. Oh.
Costumes?
Huh?
Costumes?
Next. we're gonna make costumes.
I thought we gotta do part 2 of this session. We have to.
This was designed to be a semester. This is a semester's work. This is an entire semester's, and we're doing it in 2 hours.
In
right?
a capsule, yeah.
Yeah. I've done this already. I've presented it at San Francisco State Occidental College, different places, and trust me, you'll be. Huh?
About Berkeley.
Berkeley, yeah,
You get to be
Berkeley,
there.
yeah. No, we did.
Okay.
Me and Cliff Cayetano and Shaka, we did it at Berkeley, yeah. I keep forgetting Berkeley, yeah. But people enjoy it, people love it. Wherever we go, I mean, it's you'll be surprised at the musician that's in all of us, right? This course brings out the musician in everyone. For some reason, I mean, people are like, what? I mean, people. Students have stayed behind for like 2 hours. The professor, we have another class. I mean, leave the man alone. He's orange juice. People are like, I never played an instrument before. So I know. Anyway, the song text, right? Another reader. Young lady, you want to read? Page 26.
Character and song texts are often distilled from the life of the composer. Whether old or newly composed, the singer is always free to improvise, changing the words to make people laugh, comment on someone in the crowd, or experiment to include his or her own personal experiences.
Remember I told you we don't war with weapons anymore, right? We use song text, right? We use our lyricism to war and fight. We're going to argue with you, and we don't back down. Because we're very good, articulate people. Many Garifuna people know how to speak 3-4 languages to this day. Right? Surprisingly, we only have one linguist, Roy Cayetano. I don't know why. When languages are a forte, right? Anyway, here's a very nice story of 2 Garifuna men waging war with words. My grandfather came to Belize as the assistant of the Honduran consulate, right? He was little more than what we call the yard man, right? But he lived downstairs at the consulate, and he lived there for 33 years as the personal assistant of the Honduran consulate. After retirement, he went home to Belize to live, and his next door neighbor happened to be his first cousin, Pinulero. Pinulero was the master drummer. And in Belize in those days, and to a certain extent, we don't respect musicians and artists and the creative force much, right? If you ever declare in a family that you want to be a drummer, you're going to starve. You know, well, it's different now, right? Tell your grandpa you want to be a dancer and like, huh, what? You know? You're not going to bring an alcoholic to this house. You're going to go get a job at Pomona. Anyway, seriously. So my grandfather didn't much care for his cousin, who was the master drummer, and but he considered him, lower level, lower class, and here he was in his jackets on Sunday, his wife, he was Catholic, and this and he gave to the church and all that, and he decided, he's had it with his cousin over there, so he bought a dog, and he named his dog Bad Neighbor. And whenever he saw Pinulero, his cousin, he would call for his dog, Bad Neighbor. After a while, Pinulero just like, watch, I'm gonna fix you too. And all that, so he bought his own dog, and he named his dog Just Like You. Just like you!
He's a good storyteller, man.
Well, that's Garifuna song text at work, right? I made a song out of it too, and it's very nice. Right. Yeah. And so we go to page 27, right? We're back in the language, right? Page 27. Many Garifuna sounds and words, syllables, except for a few Spanish and English. Loan words are Amerindian African origin. We know that, right? I have taken the liberty of inventing a few Garifuna words, weasel words they call them. I learned this from Papi P, in whose honor I named the class, the Francis Paulino, whatever. He was my master drummer, and he died like 3 years ago. And this course is dedicated in his memory, right? Him and I invented weasel words. He would say, what is computer? I would call him and say, Pops, I'm writing a paper, what is computer in Garifuna? He said, I don't know. I said, what do you mean? He said, let's make up a word. He said, just put it in an essay. If they ask you what it is, just send them computer. So, get a whole lot of weasel words, right? Okay, there are no English and Spanish equivalents, you know?
Right.
Right, you know, elicitation, let me see, elicit, okay. What is elicit in English? I said, elicit to come up with something, okay, come up with something. How would you say that in Garifuna? And then you just put it together. Would that be, you know, something, and that was it. He said, all right, as of today, that's elicitation. Right? So we go to page 28, language usage. Yeah? Could somebody read language usage on page 28? Please.
I'll read it.
Very intriguing, yeah, those the first two paragraphs.
You want me to read the first two?
Go ahead.
I get a lot, okay.
Mm-hmm.
The relatively recent migration of Garifuna people from Central America and the Caribbean to the United States has brought Garinagu, I can't say that, how do I say it? Garinagu from Honduras, Guatemala, Belize, Nicaragua, and St. Vincent together in large numbers for the first time. Though their common heritage is well documented, differences abound today. Among the most obvious of these is language. Spanish is spoken in Honduras and Guatemala, while English and sometimes French is the official language of Belize and many Caribbean islands. Historically, the Red Caribs killed the Arawakan males but kept the women. Vestiges of that history are alive today in the form of the modern Garifuna language. The fact that the women were predominantly Arawak has had a strong influence on the Garifuna language. This can be clearly seen in the dialects based on gender differences. The Black Carib language is even more hybrid than the people and is further complicated by a male, a female, and a ceremonial tongue. This is not to be confused with genders which exist in both dialects. Each language is stocked with borrowed terms from Yoruba, Arawakan, French, Spanish, and English. These have been incorporated into the grammar as stems to which are added the gender, tense, etc. Most words are polysyllabic, with the majority ending in a vowel. Red Carib, which is a certain percentage of Arawak, forms the base of the speech. Gonzalez supports the basic Amerindian nature of the language, stating, phonetically Negroid, the Garinagu, thank you, speak on Amerindian language, Island Carib, which is actually Arawakan. She also states that if one wishes to emphasize their Indianness, it is necessary only to point to the language.
All right.
Beautiful.
So now we're going to go into part 3, which is actually singing a song. That's what they approach, right? Everybody's singing, songwriting, drumming, and dancing, right? You played your drums, right? You've worked with how to write a song, right? Elements of a song, right? Chaos, lyricism, staccato, right? Those are the elements of dance also, right? I just incorporate the elements of dance, body movements into songwriting, right? So now we're going to, and the language, let me clarify the language. That part that you just read, missed out a very important factor. We have 4 languages within Garifuna language, right? 4. The male, the female, which is largely Arawakan, right? And we assume the male is mostly African, right? And then there's the hidden secret language of the group that few people know, right? That we don't talk every day. It's not your everyday talk. This is the language of the chosen few. And then we have the children's language. So on page 35, we have a children's song that we're going to sing. Right? Let's go to page 35.
The Red Caribs, what are they?
The Red Caribs? Anybody?
Cheryl.
The original settlers of the Caribbean, people that came from South America. We think they were, history tells us that they were actually Polynesian, right? People that came from the Polynesian islands and crossed over to Easter Island and the tip of South America. Or they were people of Asiatic origin, if you believe that part of the story. They came from the Bering Strait, from what is now Russia. And when those lands were dry, right, and they crossed over, and it took thousands of years before they ended up all the way in South America, right? Either way, people move. You know, people start moving. Do you know that statistically, 90% of the people on Earth will never leave their country? Do you know that it's a blessing to just come from Belize to the United States? Right? It's the paradigm shift. It's the new, how do you call it? It's the new equation of wealth. It's the new definition of wealth. The ability to control several environments. That's what rich people do. They live in Malibu, and Tiger Woods and Oprah Winfrey have their favorite hotels in Belize that you wouldn't even know. I saw it in Condé Nast, the travel magazine. If you don't read travel magazines and you don't go to Barnes and Noble, if you don't move out of your environment, you never know, right? But that's the new paradigm shift. That's the new equation of power. We have many people, people from Congo and all those countries where people are suffering and dying. They have condominiums in Malibu. The leaders, the rulers of the world, the 1%, the people that run things, the people that decide policy, right?
Wow.
Seriously. So this is a children's song, right? And it's written in Garifuna English, in Espanol, in Spanish, right? So either way, you can work with this, right? Simple, it's a simple song. But remember, don't be fooled by Garifuna's simplicity. Remember, everything simple in Garifuna is but complexity hidden, right? Now this time is a paranda. My cousin, the master drummer, will play the paranda, preferably the bass, the bass, yeah. And then we'll sing along, right? We're grown adults here.
In which language?
We're going to sing it in Garifuna.
Oh, okay.
Let me run it by you first. Right?
All of her children's. I'm just kidding.
Singing the song
I didn't know
Watch It.
about the children's.
That little child's voice that is so favored by Michael Jackson, remember? Here we go. Parana. Actually, I think it starts on page 34. Right? No? Okay, that's where it starts. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got it. Now, the other part, the chorus, or what we call verse, that is a children's song from way back in my childhood that I incorporated into the counting song. This is a count song to teach children how to count, right? But within this count song is a playful element that I call nonsense syllables, right? They don't mean much. It's children, we call it a play in academia, right? And it says, my brother Petitu is whistling before he gets married. My brother Petitu is whistling before he gets married. And there's the nonsense syllable. Oh, chillin' chalong, not to Petitu, chillin' chalong. Chillin' chalong doesn't mean anything in Garifuna. That's onomatopoeia. That's the sound of like a bell, right? We use onomatopoeia a lot, So the verse would go something like this. Oh, liwe hayonati Petitu lubala maredo. Liwe hayonati Petitu lubala maredo. Oh, chillin' chalong, not to Petitu, chillin' chalong. You see? Right? And then in the bottom of the page, the count continues, right? Remember at the top we did 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're doing 4, 5, 6, 7, right? God understand the sissy said. God understand the sissy said. Right? And then you could put a little variation in your voice there. You could make it longer, deeper, God understand the sissy right? All right, so I won't make it difficult for you. I won't show you up. I won't have you appear on YouTube as if though you don't know what you're doing. So we're gonna just do the first verse. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how children count in the Garifuna language, right? Slowly. Nea habahudu irahia. Niha habahudu irahim. Lida hanasiu. Garinu. Simple. One more time. Ababiamaruwagaduru. Ababiamaruwagaduru.
Ababiamaruwagaduru.
Nea habahudu irahia. Lida hanasiu garinagu. Drums. Right? Drums. Imagine you're dancing. Right? So let me do this part. I like the children part. It's done by men dressed as women, right? It's Christmas, right? Let's become a little bit familiar with it and what it is by reading page 39. Page 39. The Charikanari, also known as the Pia Manadi, is a Christmas holiday comical mime dance performed by men and boys dressed as women. The arrival of the dancers is preceded by boys planting a flag in the front yard of the sponsor. Men dancing with their faces hidden behind a wire mesh mask, their heads stuffed with a colorful headscarf and a shawl. The shawl is held aloof during the dance, loosely tied around the waist, is not an unusual sight in the streets of Garifuna communities around Christmas time. Theories abound as to why men and boys dressed as women participate in these holiday dances. One theory is that once upon a time, Garinaga men lived in separate villages from the women, requiring some of the men to double as female dancers. Another theory is that once a year, men were allowed to display their feminine side. Whatever the theory might be, Garifuna men, both straight and homosexual, still dress as women to dance the Charikanari and Wanargo or Jonkunu. In the United States, the Charikanari is now being performed at concerts and has become a dance hall favorite of male-female couples. You see the transformation, right? It was not a couple's dance. It was a male-only dance. But in the United States, our women have radicalized it, and it's not unusual to see two Charikanari with, unusual, physical forms. It's not unusual. Anyway, the Charikanari, my cousin here is going to, my cousin and I are going to demonstrate the Charikanari, and then you're going to jump in, and then we're going to end with a demonstration of the dance, right? It's unique. It has its peculiarities, whatever you call it, and it seems to be far removed from the rest of the somehow I think one of our strengths, we've displayed this ability to take the best of the cultures in the countries in which we reside and apply it to our culture, right? We've done it time and time again. For example, the Paranda by my aunt Sissy Flores Don Gusto's wife. She said once that the Paranda was not Garifuna at all. He was from Venezuela. And indeed, if you listen to Puerto Rican music, in Puerto Rico, they call it the plena, right? The anthropologist Nancy Gonzalez has even stipulated that reggae and Garifuna music are cousins, right? And if you listen to the Paranda and you listen to Nyabinga drumming, you could tell that somehow those two were married somewhere in history. Yeah, right. So, we're going to play the Churchanare. And once again, this is a fife song, a flout, or whatever they call it. You could whistle it too, or you could hum, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful melody. And this one is also played with the mallet, right? The mallet, except that the drums are standing instead of laying down. Remember with the tira, the drums were laying down, right? The drums were laying down on the table or the chair, right? This time they're standing. So could we stand and place our drums standing? And you're playing with the mallet, remember? And DJ Labuga is going to bring us a mallet for part 2 of the course, right? But for now, we're going to play the bass line with our hand, and my cousin here will play the master drum, right? And then I'll hum so you can get an idea of the melody, how the three go together, right? Quite simple. Remember, we started off with one note, then we did a couple beats, right? And then we got a little complex into 1 hour, right? Now we'll do like this is what I think is 3/4 time. Music is time to remember. You have 4/4 time, the whole note, the whole beat, whatever, 3/4, 1/4 note. Anyway, this is what it sounds like. No, it's Charcanara. Remember, onomatopoeia, you use your mouth, right? You use your mouth-hand coordination, right?